Hi guys, it's Danielle and I'm going to show you some low back, hip, and QL work on our lovely receiver, Kristen here. If you guys are just tuning in, I'm going to be teaching now. If you are coming back from the break with us, I'm going to show you some variations just because that's what works with my body because, you know, we're different people. So you ready to roll, Kristen?
Ready to rock and
Very
roll.
cool. So Kristen, first we're going to start off doing the palm press up the legs because honestly, it's just nice. It's just nice. I like to do this. Come in and just gentle palm press. I like to use the flat palm, you know, not the bony balls, I guess, of my hands or the heel. Just palming up there, wrapping around and feeling that tension. And as you can see, I'll be moving my body up. That way I'm not straining, I'm not leaning, just rocking side to side and letting gravity do its job as I hang out. Can feel the tension in Kristen's calves. She's definitely been doing squats. Yoga.
Oh, single leg standing poses.
Single leg standing poses. That sounds way intense. So we want to be mindful of the back of the knees. We don't want to apply a lot of pressure there. There's a lot of, it's called the popliteal fossa. It's got lots of blood, other stuff in there. You typically want to avoid it. Nobody likes to get hit in the back of the knees, right? So I'm going to just continue to palm walk up, feeling the tension in her hamstrings. And there's a lot. So I'm going to come up here and just rock a little bit, using a little bit more of the heels of my hand just to hook into some of these muscles. And you guys can feel it at home. As you can see on there, there's the hamstrings. There's a lot of them. There's 3. They're really big. And they cause a lot of pulling on this hip because they attach, as you can see, they attach up on that hip. And this is what accounts for a lot of that low back pain. So once we've warmed this up, we're going to take our knees and put them right here in the crease. Ooh, that tickled.
Ticklish.
Sorry. Be mindful of your receiver. Right here.
Yes, that's right.
Is where we're going to put our knees, right where the glutes meet the hamstrings. So what I like to do is come up onto my toes, find that nice part of my knee right in there, and just slowly lower down and sink in just like that. How does that feel, Kristen?
Very good.
Okay, now I know she can take a lot more pressure, so I'm going to lean up, putting more of my body weight straight down. Let her breathe. Now I do want to say, oftentimes when we're working on the glutes, we are in the blast zone of the blast zone, that's all I call it. So whenever you are doing this more closer, deep glute work, just turn your head to the side. I'm sure your receivers, you know, posterior is beautiful, but you know, again, we don't know what to have for dinner, turn your head to the side. So I'm gonna give her a little bit more pressure by kneeling up. And then I'm gonna take my hands and again, palm. Find right here at the base of her spine is the sacrum. It is a triangle-shaped bone that helps attach our spine to our hips, and there's a lot of joints there and a lot of tendons and muscles that go across. And you can see on the screen some of the anatomy, those tiny little muscles. And you can also see how psoas goes all the way up from the inside of your leg bone, across your hips, all the way up to your low back. It's pretty ridiculous. So what we're gonna do is put our hands, we're gonna find the spine right along into that small of the back and just very gently palm press out.
That's heaven.
I'm just feeling the tension, not digging in too much. A lot of times this area is very spasmy. You'll feel it like shaking as you're applying pressure. Your receiver will shake, ooh, you know, and that's totally understandable. This is a very protected part of our body. It's our core. It's how we stabilize. I like to move down a little bit right onto the top of the hips, being mindful again of the sacrum. Nobody really likes to have a lot of digging done in there. Just do this nice hip rocking like that. And that feels really nice. How does that feel, Kristen?
So good.
Good, because I was telling you exactly how it felt apparently. Now I can find a little bit of tension and lean in. And the thing to be mindful of is her floating ribs are right around this area and the top of her hip is right around here. So it's really only about a hand width. Some people will have much narrower spaces, some people much wider. Everybody is different. It's just a matter of adjusting your hand if it's a little bit more narrow, or making it wider if it's a little bit more wide. If needed, just fan out your hands, make them real big and diffuse that pressure. That way it's just not as sharp. So I like to come all the way up just because it's nice. And as you'll see, I'm rocking forward and using my body weight to apply this pressure. How's that feeling?
Mm-hmm.
Good. Still realizing that I've got my knees in the top of those hams where they meet glutes. So I'm getting all of those wonderful attachment points right there. As I continue to warm up her back, particularly her QL, which is Quadratus Lumborum. That's a long word to say. That's why we say QL a lot. And we're gonna just warm that guy up because we're about to go do stuff. So once we've done that, I like to just lean back and sit onto my feet, brace myself on the sides, and then come up. So as Kristen showed you earlier, one of the ways to warm up the glutes is you can take your foot and just kick your partner. Who doesn't like doing that? That's amazing, right? So we are going to therapeutically kick our partner's booty. So I can use the ball of my foot right here, right in the center where that nice, meaty, muscular part is, and I can feel everything moving around. If I want to, I can flatten out my foot a little bit, do a little bit more gently. If I want more pressure, I'll turn my foot to the side and really get in there. And now I'm using my whole foot, I'm using the side of my foot, I'm using the ball of my foot, the heel of my foot, and just look at those glutes. They are flying all over the place, which is what we want, because you see the movement in her low back, in her spine. Very often we don't get that area moved. We just sit and we hold. Now we're getting this beautiful twist. If standing's not your jam, because not everybody likes to stand, there are times that I don't, and I just want to watch TV and hang out, and come over, sit off to the side, and just kick them this way. Look how great that is. This is therapeutic kicking again, everyone, as we watch murder docu-series and narcos, you know. That's what we do, right? But again, you'll see glutes are rocking, legs are rocking, and we're just getting so much movement in that low back, which is exactly what we wanted. How'd that feel, Kristen?
Mm-hmm.
Nice, right? So 2 different ways we can warm up these glutes. We can stand and kick, or we can lay down and sit and kick, whatever works out well. So from here, what I like to do is come in and we're gonna start working on the QL. Again, it's in between, you know, the top of these hips and her floating ribs. We want to be very mindful of that. Nobody wants to get poked in their ribs. It's not very fun. You know, there's very little meat in how you eat baby back ribs. It's these guys. Nobody likes to get poked there. Want to be mindful of the hips because, again, nobody likes getting poked in any sort of bones. What I like to do is side up to my receiver so they know I'm there. I'm not a ghost. Take that flat part of my elbow, find the middle of her spine, and just gently slide off until I'm no longer on the spine and I am on QL, and then I press down. How does that feel?
Mm-hmm.
So right now you can see I've stacked my body on top of my elbow. Her floating ribs are here, her hips are down here, I'm right in between. From here I can shear up. How does that feel?
Mm-hmm.
And have her breathe as we hold. Now I could play Candy Crush. I could definitely be in charge of the remote. Like, my receiver is not going to fight me for the TV for this, right? So if I wanted to watch, like, I don't know, anime. Do you like anime?
Mm.
No, I'm watching anime. Kristen can't say anything.
You can watch whatever you want if you're massaging.
Yep, exactly.
That's the rule.
So find somebody who has a big TV, do this, and you can watch all the anime you want for like nothing.
There you go.
So I'm going to come out very slowly, because now that I've warmed it up, just using that flat part of my elbow, I'm going to come in and do it a little bit sharper, and I'll show you that in just a moment. So again, find the spine, slide off. So right there, I'm going to sink in. And then what I can do, I'm going to move my elbow forward just a little bit, move my arm. I'm going to lift my elbow up, and now it's become a much, much sharper tool. How does that feel?
That's good.
Good. So now this angle I'm coming at is more like a 45-degree angle versus a straight up and down. It's getting a little bit more lateral. And as you can see, the muscles that we're working on is part of that psoas, which comes up across the body and attaches into that low back, as well as the QL on the side, those big, strong, long muscles. Working all of the little rotatories and spinales and erector muscles. There's like a million of them. So we just call them erect because there's so many. So what I'm also doing now is I can feel the tension, and I'm going to start shearing a little bit more away from her body. And I do that by just pulling my elbow a little bit and leaning more back. Now, you might have some receivers who are like, man alive, I want more pressure pushed in. For whatever reason, there are people like that. So what we can do is we're going to come out. I'm going to start a little bit lower, press in, and then I'm going to push more towards her spine very slowly. Now, if this is just like, oh man, my shoulders don't really want to do that, no worries. I got this sweet leg that I can just like lean into. Use this leg. I can use this leg. I can use two arms, whatever I need to get extra pressure. Basically, I'm not straining. I'm just hanging out, letting gravity and all 200 pounds of awesome doing its work for me. How's that feel? Very good. Big deep breath in and out. I know she needs this work. I can feel her releasing, which is amazing and exactly what we wanted. So I'm going to slide down just a little bit more to get a little bit more focus onto QL, Quadratus Lumborum. But as you can see, we're working all of those low back muscles. And on this particular slide also, if we can go back to the other slide. Well, we won't. On some of these slides, what you'll see is down closer towards the bottom of the spine is this like whitish area. And that's actually tendon. That's where our muscles meet our bones, ligaments and tendons and all that stuff. That fascia can get very, very, very tight. So by pulling away from the spine, pulling away from the hip, helps relieve some of that also fascial tension. How'd that feel?
Very good.
Good. And again, just one more time, I'm going to come in and lean and let her feel that. Big deep breath in. And on the out breath, I'm going to come out. Now, you can sit here for a very long time because it just feels amazing, but we're going to move on to the other side so as not to make her right side feel lonely. So again, here's her spine. I know her floating ribs are right around this area. Top of the hips are here. I'm going to take my elbow, find that spine, slide off, and then sink in. Okay, I like them to know that I'm all up close to them, so I'm not a ghost giving a massage. I'm going to come in, found that spine, slide off, and big deep breath in and down.
Oh, so good.
So this one again, I'm stacking my body weight just right on top of my arm. I'm not pushing in. I'm using gravity. I'm hanging out. I'm watching TV, having a drink because it's St. Patrick's Day and that's what we're supposed to do tonight, right? And just hanging out and relaxing while she's getting some really great body work.
Yep.
Best thing is to keep in mind that your receiver, this can be very intense. So we want to make sure that their breathing is deep and slow. They start going probably a bit too much pressure, probably need to back off a little bit. And if that's the case, all you do is just sit back a little bit more. Don't have to lean in quite so much. Kristen, we know, can take a lot more pressure, so I'm definitely going to lean in a little bit more. Big deep breath in and out. Ooh, right there. How's that? So these muscles, QL, psoas, these are some of our main core stabilization muscles. These muscles are how we sit in a chair, how we bend, how we twist, how we literally exist in the world. If we didn't have these muscles, we would just like kind of flop over and it would look very weird, and I guess our world would look much different. But we sit up, so we need these guys. They do have a tendency to get very, very tight and stuck because we sit in chairs all day, we drive for like 500 hours, especially in Austin traffic, like we just kind of live in our cars. And just sitting and holding in these very static poses, our muscles don't realize that they can move, they can stretch, they can bend like they're supposed to. So we often have to go in and do some gentle reminders or some heavy compressional reminders that, hey, it's okay, relax. Take a big deep breath in and allow yourself to feel the release and let that tension go, and remind your muscles and your back that it can relax. It does not have to keep you up straight all the time. Big deep breath in and down. How did that feel? Great. So I definitely feel some tension in her hips as well. So what I might do, because I'm here, I can feel the sacrum right here. I'm going to take this part of my elbow, find that sacrum, just fall off of it a little bit. Get a little bit of that top glute, just because it feels nice. The reason is there's, again, a lot of tendons that attach all through this area, and they can get bunched up. So just put a little bit of elbow right here in this top glute because she needs it. Again, be mindful, blast zone. It's that way. I'm this way. I'm safe. I got an escape. I don't think, what do we eat? Corned beef and hash? That's a, I think I lost Kristen.
No, I'm here.
There.
Corned beef and hash.
That's Irish, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm Irish. I should know that.
I worked at Sherlock's.
Yeah, cool.
I mean,
Yeah.
I'm Irish too, but never been to Ireland.
Oh, it's beautiful. They have a lot of corned beef there too. So once we've done that, all right, I also like to come in sometimes, take my hand right above the sacrum, just get some more movement and see how it feels. And it's a lot better. She's still super tight though, y'all. We'll have to spend like 5 hours here. And again, good thing we're watching like a Netflix docu-series binge-a-thon that's like 13 hours. I could just sit and watch and drink responsibly while Kristen got some great body work. But we're not doing that. We're teaching you guys. So I'm not going to make you watch me watch a documentary. So once we've done that with QL, we're going to focus on some of our hip flexors. So one of the ones that I like to do is first a very simple quad stretch. Ooh, this is problematic for a lot of people. I know I have problems with it. My quads don't like to stretch. They're very strong, squats for days. And so for a lot of people, this is it. This is enough. They feel that in their quads. They feel that in their hip flexors. The other thing that we can do is bring it up. Take my bottom hand, my outside hand, come up underneath the knee, and I'm going to lift up, slide my bottom leg right underneath her leg. So she's supported on my knee. Everything is good. I'm going to take my top hand right there at that hand butt crease, press down, and then bring heel to the glute. How does that feel? This is a very passive psoas stretch, as well as a very direct hip flexor and quad stretch. A lot of people that do yoga will notice that their muscle bellies are very, very flexible, but they have problems at their attachments. This one focuses directly on those attachments. So then when we come out very slowly. I like to grab the ankle, just back out, lay down gently. Once we've done that, we're going to do another psoas stretch. Now, Kristen showed you this version earlier, which I'm a big fan of. I like to come in, grab the ankle, right? If they have slidey pants on, I'm just going to move them up because I want the skin. I want to hold on to that because I'm going to take this leg for a ride. We're going to go on a journey. You ready, Kristen? Would you mind turning on the other way, babe? Hey, turn your head to the other way. Kristen's going to keep her head this way and it's going to be more uncomfortable. Remind your receiver to look the other way though. Big deep breath in. And I'm going to lift up and walk across just like that. How does that feel? Now I can do this with one hand. I can do this with two hands. There we go. See how she flipped over? And just have her breathe. And what we're getting at here is we are getting that psoas stretch, which remember attaches from the very bottom or the very top of your leg bone, your inferior trochanter, not the greater. Anyway, inside of your leg bone, the lesser trochanter, inside of your leg bone, all up across your hips, all the way to your low back. So this is that full leg stretch. Now, if your receiver's leg is too heavy, or you just don't feel like picking them up and taking them for a journey, that's totally okay. What you can do is we can do this cross body. So once we've done our wonderful quad stretch, because we always need to do that, it feels good. How's that feel? She's fallen asleep again, everyone. I'm going to assume it feels amazing.
Yes, so sorry.
There we go. So once we've done that, I'm going to take my bottom hand, my outside hand, hook it up underneath her knee. I like to rest their feet on my shoulder because it's just a good hand help. Sometimes their feet are like all the way up by my head. Sometimes I'm like trying to wrangle them, but generally rest them along the shoulder. I like to take my top hand and again, find that QL where we spent some earlier time in. I'm going to have Kristen take a big deep breath in. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to lift up and sit back and do kind of an abbreviated psoas stretch. Now with my hand on her low back, I'm really isolating that psoas. If that's too much, I can just take it off. And I got a from her, so I know it's a little bit too much. It was me a little bit too aggressive. But often I like to stabilize here and hold, and then big deep breath in. And I like to come down, and when I do this, I press in more into that QL. As I lower her leg down, I like to come up, grab the foot. I usually hook into the pants and lower them down that way. So there's two different variations on how to do that psoas stretch. And then once you've done that, you can just find other times, like I know again, Kristen's gonna have a lot going on in her QL, so I'm gonna wanna come in and spend just a lot more time hanging out, pressing in just like that, because this is what she needs. Other people might need way more work on their hamstrings because their hams are super tight and it's pulling those glutes back, and we're like, whoa, what's going on? So we're gonna come in and press down like that. And press across these glutes because that feels good. And that's what we need. What we always want to make sure of is we're responding to what our receiver needs. That way they enjoy it, and that way you enjoy giving. And we're going to come back up. Brace. And then step out. You done, Kristen?
All
right.
I hope you guys had as much fun receiving that and giving that as we did, especially me because I've been having
Come down
some
here.
issues. Yeah.
I'm sorry, anyway.
Anyway, I guess we'll see you guys back in 2 weeks or so. I'm not sure. This month is kind of a funky one, so it might be about 3 weeks. So we'll start in the first week of the next month, correct?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah. So we'll see you guys the first week in April. Oh my God, I can't believe it's almost
Oh
time.
my gosh, that's so crazy.
But you guys, go ahead and feel free to shop, look through the playlist on Robert Gardner Wellness YouTube. You can check out the different tie jams that we've done. If you've got different issues maybe you want to focus on, check it out and see what you guys want to work on. And if you have any ideas for next time, feel free to comment so we can try some new stuff for you.
Yeah, give us some cool ideas. You know, we know what we like to get worked on because we always have certain issues that we need, like as I've even got my elbow in her glute. But if you need neck stuff, if you've got a weird, shoulder thing or like chest thing, let us know. We've got cool stuff for that too. I'd love to show you some chest stuff.
Yeah.
Maybe we should just do chest stuff.
If you don't say anything, we're doing chest next time.
Yeah, there we go. If you don't say anything, yeah, we're gonna do rib, meat, and chest.
Yeah. Well, happy St. Patrick's, you guys. Pinch anyone that's not wearing green, and be safe and take care of each other tonight. Till we meet again.
Take care, guys. Bye.